Hello, Newsweek fans. My name is Gary Loss, and I'm a reporter with Newsweek. So, listen, by now, if you have even just a semblance of an objective bone in your political anatomy, you are aware of the colossal foobar that is Afghanistan, despite the protestations from our august seasoned commander in chief, the illustrious Joe Won't Eat Crow, now or probably any time in the future. And before you label me as a partisan, you should know I didn't vote for Trump either in 2016 or 2020. Oh, I sure as hell didn't vote for Bill and Reed Clinton, nor a senile man with a history of corruption as long as the Amu Darya River, which runs northward through Afghanistan for 879 miles. And you can see it on the screen. And I am no fan of George W. Bush, who got us embroiled in these 2-decade-old wars on the pretext that the Taliban aided and abetted Al Qaeda. A claim that seems questionable, but that's not a rabbit hole I want to go down now. For that matter, I was equally unimpressed with Barack Obama, who seemed to take pleasure in indiscriminately drone bombing the living hell out of Pakistan, killing countless innocent people, even as he clutched his now tarnished Nobel Peace Prize as proof of his humanitarian bona fides, picking up neatly where Georgie Boy left off. In the picture featured here, Bush is pointing to where Iraqi is on a map so he can invade the correct country, while Obama is saying, I missed it by that much, referring, of course, to his drone strikes. But much like a Joe Biden speech that lasts more than 5 minutes, I digress or regress, as it were. So, with that in mind, here is my take on what happened with regard to the service dogs in Afghanistan. We'll start with some headlines from our oh so impartial media, whose refusal to be accurate and unbiased in the 2016 election led to the foisting of the odious dichotomy of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, a voting choice that made more people throw up in their mouths than reruns of MTV's Road Rules. With that in mind, I want to explore a story that has gone viral the way Joe Biden's choice of ice cream grabbed the media attention like it was the equivalent of the McCarthy hearings, during which, by the way, Biden was 11 years old. Okay, that was a nasty little bar, but I couldn't resist. What I do want to do is shine a spotlight on how the United States federal government left a slew of dogs behind in Afghanistan in their hasty retreat. Now, to be fair and accurate, something neither the Republicans nor the Democrats nor the media seem to be, let me state these apparently were not military service dogs. So here are some headlines to attest to that. Pentagon denies, criticizes viral reports that U.S. left dogs in Afghanistan. Oh my, they not only deny, but criticize. How self-righteously indignant of them. Because everybody knows the Pentagon is a paragon of virtue sitting atop a bastion of incorruptible truth. Now, here's a headline that hits you right between the proverbial eyes. No U.S. military dogs were left behind in Afghanistan, DOD says. No equivocation here, just a straight up denial. Oh my God, if the Department of Decrepitude says it's true, who are we to question the veracity of the best spin doctors? Little Miss can't be wrong. By the way, Sleepy Joe was 49 years old when that song was released. And I'm referring to Little Miss Can't Be Wrong, the spin doctors. And Donald Trump was a spry 46 years of age, still a babe in the billionaire woods of Manhattan skyscrapers. I did it again. I went Uncle Joe on you. Let's get back to it. Now, not to be outdone in the denial game, the Military Times joined in the fray with this defensive statement. No, the military did not leave working dogs behind, DOD says. In fairness, I'm going to give a pass to the military. None of this chaos was their fault, and they were not complicit in any malfeasance because they were following orders from their boss, saying, so Joe, which of course he already has said repeatedly. Now, Snopes, on the other hand, was initially interrogated in their assessment of the truth, asking, did the U.S. military leave dogs behind in Afghanistan? Of course, Snopes used the X of red death to show that their final stance, which was, nope, they didn't. It's all wrong. Nothing to see here. Just move along. And just to be sure there's no confusion on our part, the DoD released the following statement. To correct erroneous reports, the U.S. military did not leave any dogs in cages at Hamid Karzai International Airport, to include the reported military working dogs. Photos circulating online were animals under the care of the Kabul Small Animal Rescue. Okay, when you put it that way, I guess we can all just pack up and rush out like Nancy Pelosi on the way to a Botox injection. But not so fast, my Newsweek friends. Yes, it's factually true that we did not abandon military service dogs in Afghanistan, but we did abandon dogs owned by people who supported our efforts to bring order to the region. As reported by The Zone, these dogs were under the care of the Kabul Small Animal Rescue. And at the time of this event, or evacuation, according to Snopes, they largely belonged to Afghans, embassy employees, and independent defense contractors who were unable to bring their animals with them as they evacuated. Apparently, not all good dogs go to heaven, or at least these dogs, at least not in Kabul. As Kabul Small Animal Rescue, KSAR, and other right groups point out, there's still the matter of the fate of approximately 130 other dogs whose lives hang in the balance. These dogs were explicitly forbidden to be evacuated by the DoD or the DHS or the DMV or whatever alphabet soup in DC calls the shots. The point is, why not? Why are dogs of the very people who made our brave soldiers' mission possible not allowed to bring their dogs? My guess is it's not that, Sleepy Joe is some kind of anti-canine person, but just that he's inept and incapable of planning the details of a military evacuation in an orderly and logical manner that is needed to minimize negative outcomes such as these. Because at the end of the day, this is part and parcel of one of the most ill-conceived, poorly planned, and uninformed evacuations in the history of our country. And none of it was necessary because it could have been done better. And not just better, a lot better. Not just for these poor pooches, but for our soldiers, some of who paid the ultimate price, for our translators, and for our Afghan allies, who we bailed on quicker than a promise is broken by our typical elected officials. We can and we must do better. I'm Gary Loss with Newsweek.com. Have a wonderful morning, day, evening, or night, and go give your dog a hug. If you have a cat, well, then who cares? It's just a cat. They don't want a hug anyway. Bye-bye, people.